current news podcast.
With Elu and Jesse.
Yes. All right, so we're diving into some pretty interesting territory today.
Definitely.
We've got a stack of articles about Sinners, this new Ryan Coogler film coming out next year. And I got to say, just from the headlines alone, this one sounds like a wild ride.
Oh, absolutely. It's got everyone talking already, and for good reason, I think.
Yeah, and we've got vampires, we've got Jim Crow South, we've got Michael B. Jordan playing twins.
Right. Like, where do you even start with that combination? It's like Coogler just took a bunch of ingredients you wouldn't expect to go together and just threw them in a pot.
It's true. And I think that's what's so exciting, right? It's like, this is not your typical vampire flick.
No, not at all. I mean, you've got the thriller element, obviously, but then you've got Coogler, who's known for really digging into social issues.
Exactly. Like, look at Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther.
Right. Every single one of those movies, they had something to say, and they weren't afraid to say it. And I think with Sinners, he's taking that to a whole other level.
Yeah, it's like he's taking this genre, this horror vampire genre, and using it as a way to explore something much deeper.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so compelling, right? Because you're drawn in by the premise.
The hook.
Yes, the hook. But then you realize there's so much more going on beneath the surface.
So let's talk about this premise a bit more. We've got Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers.
Yeah, twins, which is already interesting, right? I mean, that's a whole acting challenge right there.
Right. And they're returning to their hometown after a long absence.
And it's not exactly a welcoming homecoming, from what I gather.
No, not at all. I mean, it's the Jim Crow South, so you got that whole tense atmosphere, that history of racial injustice, and then
on top of all that, you throw vampires into the mix.
vampires.
Like, how much can these characters handle?
It's like Coogler saying, okay, you think you've seen it all? Well, buckle up.
Right, like he's throwing down a gauntlet, daring us to keep up.
I love it.
So, we know the basic premise. We know the release date, March 7th, 2025, which feels both so far away and, yeah.
I know, it's coming up fast.
It is, and the anticipation is already building, but what do we actually know about these brothers? What brings them back to this town?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the articles only give us these little snippets, these hints.
Yeah, they're playing it close to the chest, which, just makes it all the more intriguing, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's like they're letting the mystery simmer.
Exactly. Right. Building that suspense.
In the trailer, oh man, don't even get me started on that trailer.
Right. Talk about setting a mood.
It's like 2 minutes of pure, like, gothic, Southern Gothic tension.
It's like they bottled that humid, heavy air, and the way they use the shadows, like something's always lurking just out of sight.
And that shot of Michael B. Jordan staring at his reflection in a puddle, and it's like, rippling, distorted.
Chills, man. Chills.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. And then there's that line, that one line that everyone's been quoting.
Oh, you mean where he says, I've seen men die in ways I ain't even know was possible.
But I ain't ever seen no demons, no ghosts, no magic. Till now.
Like, that right there tells you everything you need to know about the tone of this movie.
Right. It's like, yeah, there are vampires, but there's something else going on here, something deeper, darker.
It's like Coogler saying, the real monsters, they ain't the ones with fangs.
Ooh, I like that. And speaking of monsters, we got to talk about Jack O'Connell as the clan leader.
Oh, man, talk about perfect casting. He's got that intensity, that unnerving presence.
Right, like you just know he's going to be terrifying.
And the way they juxtapose the clan with the vampires, it's like they're two sides of the same coin.
Two different kinds of monsters, both feeding off fear and hate.
Exactly. And that's what makes this film so relevant, even though it's set in the past.
Because those same forces are still at work today, Just maybe not wearing hoods or sucking blood.
Well, maybe not literally sucking blood.
Good point. Good point. So we've got the Jordan Coogler dream team. We've got this killer cast. We've got this incredibly charged setting.
And we haven't even talked about the music yet.
Oh, the music. I completely forgot. Who are they getting for the score?
Well, rumor has it they've got Kendrick Lamar on board.
Shut the front door. Are you serious?
That's what I'm hearing, which, I mean, come on, that's a match made in cinematic heaven.
Kendrick and Coogler. Talk about a recipe for greatness. I mean, can you imagine those beats, that atmosphere, layered over those visuals?
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
I mean, we talk about Kendrick's music and Coogler's visuals, but at the end of the day, this is still a horror movie, right? Yeah. At least that's how it's being billed.
Right, and that's what's got me so fascinated, because how do you balance those things? The social commentary, the historical weight, with the chills, the scares?
Yeah, exactly. Will there be jump scares? Will there be gore? Or will it be more like psychological, that creeping dread.
See, I think that's where Coogler's really going to nail it, the psychological aspect. Because think about it, you're already in this incredibly tense environment, the Jim Crow South, right?
Right, where just existing as a black person in that time and place, it was almost like living in a horror movie already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go over the top with the, the blood and guts. It's about the atmosphere, the underlying tension.
And the fear, right, that primal fear of the unknown, which in this case is both literal, like vampires are real in this world, but also metaphorical, right?
Absolutely. Like, what does it mean to have these creatures, these vampires, preying on a community that's already being preyed upon?
It's like he's taking that classic horror trope, the monster in the shadows, and giving it this whole other layer of meaning.
And it makes you question, who are the real monsters, Is it the vampires? Or is it the people who created that atmosphere of fear and oppression in the first place?
Man, so many questions. And I think that's the mark of a really great film, right? One that stays with you, that makes you think even after you've left the theater.
Oh, absolutely. And I have a feeling we're going to be unpacking this one for a long, long time. So, mark your calendars, folks. March 7th, 2025, Sinners is coming. And it's going to be something special.
I don't know about you, but I am counting down the days. All right, everyone, that's it for our deep dive into Sinners. We'll be back next time with another look at a film that's got everyone talking. Until then, stay curious and don't let the vampires bite.
Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Turn the dial to the daily news. Bringing voices, headlines, and shoes. You turn the dial to the daily news.